It was supposed to be a smooth hometown tour for Senator J.D. Vance, a chance to re-energize his base in Dayton, Ohio, and remind the public of his grassroots origins. The auditorium was packed. Dose of the politically curious had shown up, hoping to hear about the senator's latest policy proposals and plans to combat economic stress in their region. Vance arrived in his usual crisp navy blazer, shaking hands and flashing a calculated smile. Cameras lined the walls. Press badges swung from lanyards. Everything about the setup said controlled narrative. Asterisk, he opened with familiar themes: American resilience, the importance of family values, and his deep disdain for what he called liberal elitism infecting our institutions. For the first 15 minutes, the crowd was polite, if not entirely enthusiastic. A few loyal supporters clapped. Others listened in silence. The tension was subtle but noticeable. Not everyone in that auditorium had come to cheer. Then came the Q&A. A local journalist, well regarded in Dayton for asking smart, sometimes uncomfortable questions, stood up. Government spending and calling out so-called waste, but just last month, you voted for a bill that included $2.3 billion in subsidies for fossil fuel corporations. Doesn't that contradict your message? Asterisk, the room stiffened. Vance offered a tight smile. I think that's a mischaracterization, he replied. That bill supports American energy independence, something this administration has been undermining from day one. Asterisk, the journalist raised her brow. But you also tweeted that the government should stop bailing out billion-dollar industries. That tweet was 2 weeks ago. So which is it? Asterisk, a low ripple ran through the crowd. Some leaned forward. Others whispered to their neighbors. Vance's jaw tensed. He looked off stage for a second, then back at the reporter. Asterisk, look, if we're going to cherry-pick quotes, asterisk, she cut in smoothly. It's not cherry-picking. It's your public record. Not loud at first, but unmistakable. A man in the third row stood and shouted, "Answer the question." Another followed, "You're dodging." A woman near the back held up her phone, recording as she called out, "Corporate puppet." Asterisk, J.D. Vance raised a hand to calm the crowd. Folks, let's keep this civil, asterisk, but it was too late. The crowd had turned. Someone waved a homemade sign that read JD equals just deceitful. What was once an organized town hall began to unravel into a chorus of discontent. Asterisk, Vance tried to regain control. I'm here to have a real conversation. Asterisk, a heckler interrupted. Then stop running from your record. Asterisk, another reporter, emboldened, asked Senator, do you regret supporting the Ohio corporate tax breaks when small businesses are still closing on Main Street? Asterisk, JD's face flushed. He looked like a man cornered in his own backyard. His staff, seated near the stage, started shifting nervously. You could almost see the PR damage calculations happening in real time. Vance stepped back from the mic, visibly frustrated, muttering something inaudible. Someone from the crowd shouted, "Can't take the heat, JD, asterisk," and then he did the unthinkable, he left. No closing remarks. No rally cry. Auditorium buzzed with disbelief. His microphone, still clipped to his lapel, picked up the words, "This is a waste of my damn time." Asterisk, the video footage naturally went viral within minutes. Several attendees had recorded from different angles. Clips showed him being pressed, booed, then bailing. No edits, no spinge. The raw optics of a politician unraveling under pressure. Asterisk, as the internet caught fire. One particular response stood out above the rest. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett's brutal takedown. Asterisk, during a livestream panel later. That evening, the host played the video. Crockett leaned back in her chair, watched the clip, then burst into laughter. Wait, he ran out, she asked incredulously. Y'all, JD came in acting like a tough guy and dipped out like someone told him there was algebra on the test. Asterisk, the panel laughed, but she wasn't finished. You don't get to parade around Congress acting like a warrior for the people, then fold like a paper fan when the people start asking real questions. That's not leadership, that's cosplay, reshared across platforms. By the end of the night, Crockett's roast was trending right alongside Vance's meltdown. For J.D. Vance, the town hall was over. For the rest of the country, the show had just begun. And Vance booed in Dayton. The video of his abrupt exit had now been viewed over 12 million times across platforms, with hashtags like #JDVanished and #VanceWalkOfShame dominating social media feeds. Political analysts across the spectrum couldn't stop replaying the footage, some dissecting it, others mocking it, but all agreeing on one thing. It was a catastrophic look for a man with rumored presidential ambitions. Asterisk, meanwhile, Jasmine Crockett was having a moment. Her roast of J.D. Vance during a live stream wasn't just hilarious, it was politically lethal. She had framed his retreat not just as a personal failure, but as a symbol of a larger problem. Politicians who talk tough until the public starts talking back, asterisk, and Crockett wasn't done. Asterisk 2 nights later, she appeared on MSNBC for a scheduled panel discussing recent Senate dynamics. When the host brought up the Vance incident, Crockett leaned in with that same confident smile. "What we saw in Dayton wasn't just a gaffe, it was a revelation," she said. "JD wants to wag his finger at America and tell us how to behave. But the moment he was asked to answer to his own record, he crumbled like a dollar store lawn chair." Asterisk, the panel burst into laughter. A smile, "So you're saying he can dish it, but can't take it?" Asterisk, "I'm saying he brought a Twitter thread to a truth fight." She shot back without missing a beat. The clip went viral again. Vance's communications team scrambled, orchestrated by liberal agitators, claiming the senator had been intentionally prevented from speaking, but the footage told a different story. The crowd wasn't storming the stage or shouting profanity. They were asking pointed, uncomfortable questions, and Vance had chosen flight over fight. Asterisk, Crockett responded to the spin with a tweet that read, "They always cry ambush when the truth corners them. Don't bring cowardice to a conversation, and call it censorship." It was retweeted over 60,000 times in a single day. Behind closed doors, Republicans were privately fuming. "He looked weak," one senior GOP strategist said anonymously. "You don't walk out. You take the heat. You flip the question. You own the moment." In political theater, asterisk, to make matters worse, comedy shows jumped on the story. The Daily Show opened with a skit of a J.D. Vance impersonator bolting from the stage the second a constituent asked about healthcare. Saturday Night Live did a full parody with Jasmine Crockett portrayed as the no-nonsense truth-teller who scared JD into retirement. Asterisk, and Jasmine, she leaned into it. On Instagram, she posted a photo of herself sipping tea in a bless your heart mug with the caption, "When they try to bring smoke but forget I'm fire." Asterisk, reporters started asking whether Crockett had ambitions beyond the House of Representatives. Rumors swirled. Interviews poured in. She remained coy, saying, "I'm just focused on doing my job apparently." Part of that is reminding folks like JD that public service doesn't mean public temper tantrums. Asterisk, meanwhile, JD Vance avoided the press. His next scheduled appearance, a conservative podcast, was quietly canceled. He skipped a town hall in Cincinnati the following weekend, citing logistical issues. But sources inside his team admitted they were spooked. The last thing they wanted was another viral moment. Asterisk, in contrast, Crockett accepted nearly every invitation that came her way. She did interviews on CNN, NBC, even a feature with Rolling Stone. And in each one, she stayed focused. Accountability, authenticity. Vance, silenced by pressure, had retreated into his echo chamber. Crockett, energized by confrontation, had become a voice that millions were suddenly paying attention to. Asterisk, a week after the Dayton debacle, she spoke at a rally in Houston. Midway through her speech, she referenced the now infamous incident with a smirk. "You know what I've learned lately?" she said, pausing as the crowd leaned in. "If someone runs from questions, they're not scared of the crowd, they're scared of the answers." Asterisk, the crowd erupted. Cameras flashed. Another clip went viral. Asterisk, J.D. Vance had planned to dominate headlines with policy talk and patriotic platitudes. Instead, he became a cautionary tale. And Jasmine Crockett, a message that real leadership doesn't hide when challenged. It stands, listens, and responds with truth, not tantrums. Asterisk, asterisk.